All right. There we are.
Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. We really, really love being with you on these Monday calls. We look forward to them all week. We love this time. So thanks for being with us. And today, we want to be together. Sophie and I just had a lovely conversation. We're just really feeling the lightness of having cleared a lot of things in our lives. And we've just been enjoying being in that space, and we want to share it with all of you. So join us. Please comment if you have any questions or you just want to share. We really truthfully love being with you. We do. So Sophie, can you just share? We titled the today's talk "Being" because that's what we're experiencing now. Could you just share a little bit about being and the experience of being?
Yeah. Well, let's see. So I'm 62-year old, right? I think I started practicing awareness when I was 32, so about 30 years, right? And the path, my path, but I think it's not the same for everybody, but I think it's similar, has been a constant discovery of what I thought I knew that was not true.
Totally.
So that's what I call giving up, saying, oh, I was so certain of that. But you know what? It turns out not true at all. So I always have a picture of all those thousands and thousands of students that I had. If I said something that didn't resonate with you, just let it go because I probably have moved on from it. But Abby, I'm so present to temporality, right? So I had yet another breakthrough a few days ago. I don't know. Speaking is a little bit difficult for me to put all of that into words because it's such an extraordinary experience of lightness and expansion and immensity of the perfection of it all, right? But I'm very present to temporality. If temporality is I think the consequence of creation, right? So if you imagine the divine or God or love, or you can call it as you want, a mystery consciousness, right? At one point created the quantum dimensions and the material dimensions, and that creation, the consequence of it is time. Past, present, future, but at the same time, the thinking that time is real. I remember somebody telling me that they asked physicists about time and to explain he wanted to know what time was, and the physicists were incapable of giving an answer, right? But in all of my experiences, I have looked at my past profoundly and deeply, not with fascination. I actually have to make myself look at my past because I'm actually quite bored with it. But the only way that I find to get out of the illusion is to examine with awareness every decision, every interpretation, every opinion, any certitude that comes from the past and destroy those, right? So I don't look at the past because I'm fascinated and egocentrically interested by how I created the illusion of my life. But just with one intention and one intention only, is to give up whatever certainty or certitudes I have jailed myself inside of, right? So let me give you an example. For example, when I was very, very, very young, I blame myself. You know, very often children have a vision of angelic beings or light beings, right? And I had one of those when I was about 2 years old or something, very, very young. And that being, it was during a war, and that being, I think, was there to protect me, right? And he said to me, he very kindly, by the way, my memory of it was such a love. He said to me, you know, you can just be with the terror. You don't have to resist it. You have the capacity and the capabilities to experience terror. And I didn't listen to him. I said, oh no, there is absolutely no way I can experience that terror. I'll go to anger, right? Because anger was easier for me to experience. So at that moment, and from that moment onwards, the context for my life was that I was someone that did not listen to the divine. So somebody that doesn't listen to the divine, doesn't listen to an angel, doesn't listen to a light, a being of light. I don't know how you call it, but it's more than a loser. It's like a disrespectful, lost failure, right?
Yeah.
And recently, I experienced a stop in my life, not being able to. It was a physical experience, Neely. I have been always someone that speaks something and creates it and manifests it. And recently it wasn't happening, right? So I knew there was something. And that's why I talk about time. The moment I experience a barrier, a lack of freedom, a lack of flow, a lack of movement in my life, I know that there is something in my past that I made up that is creating this experience of being stopped. I never look externally. I never look at circumstances outside of me, because if I do look outside of me, I don't have any power. Right? So I did have this incredible insight that the entire context for my life was this experience of having dishonored my relationship with the divine, right? And suddenly there is an expansion and a light, and my mind is empty of thought, empty of little voices. I am so present that I have difficulty speaking. I'm so present.
Wow.
Right? Now, the other side of it is the future. While I was having this experience 2 days ago, everybody, but I wanted to share it with you when Abby decided to take charge of the call and told me that we were going to talk about it. The other experiences are so that if you get trapped in the thought that you should be doing something, that you should act a certain way, that your life is, you have something to accomplish, I physically experience an anxiety just about the thought of what I should be doing to give meaning to my life, right? So why I'm sharing that is that I assume that all the people listening to us, Abby, want to experience being peaceful, in joy, and in calm, right? In this harmony with life. And I think one of the most important insights that you want to create for yourself is the illusion of past, present, future. Now, it's not easy because, as I said, it's difficult to function being so present and so in nothing. But that is the only space where everything is possible. So I don't know if I made sense, Abby. What is that? What you wanted me to talk about?
Yeah, it's really beautiful. I thank you for sharing what the experience is. And I'm wondering if you could speak a little bit more too, because when we were speaking before, I really got it. Like the earlier in the call, you said the way to get to this space, to continue elevating in our consciousness, is to not just be fascinated with the past, not just look at it and tell the same stories over and over and, oh, I'm like this because my mom was like that, or because whatever, those are the stories we tell ourselves, but to really take time to really excavate very specific moments. And then you said the word to destroy any certainties that we have about it. And I was just wondering if you could talk a little more about that, because I think it's so crucial.
Yeah. So again, I'm assuming that everybody know they are their soul, right? Or their essence, that you're not your human.
Yep.
And my experience of my soul and souls in general is so much more vast than any human can be, right? And there is a co-creation with the universe that I experience absolutely impossible to understand. And that is where faith come in. I suddenly got so present to the perfection of not knowing as a human. So let me see if I can put it into words. The perfection of not knowing, because it would be too small, whatever we can imagine. Therefore, there is a trust into the love of the divine. And it does not look any way. It doesn't look the religious way. It doesn't look like the story way. It doesn't look like the history way. It doesn't look like fables. It doesn't look like anything. There is nothing to understand. My experience is we cannot. So then you contemplate this faith that is based in a love that is so blindly surrendered that I can't stop smiling. It's like I'm giving up any control as a human at that level will have me giggle.
Wow.
And like I have a thought, what am I turning into? You want to look for me, I'll be meditating on the beach somewhere. Well, maybe that's why Buddha went under the tree and never moved.
Totally. Why would you?
Yeah.
And, a lot of what you're sharing too reminds me of, I talk about this a lot. We talk about it a lot, but when Katie had her awakening, Byron Katie, and what she describes a time period, like there was first the sort of awakening time where it was hard to verbalize things and hard to integrate into this reality what the experience was. But then there was a secondary time frame after kind of she started integrating more, where she would just sit and wait for a thought. Just wait for a thought, because it was either one of two things. It was either instructions or it was something to question. And that's it. it was just one of the two things. So you can understand why you would just want to sit and
Wait for a thought. Yes.
wait for a thought.
Yes. Yes. And you know what I'm present to when you're speaking, Abby? Many of my students say to me, but it's hard, right? Many people do not want to practice awareness because they think it's hard. But if you can have a little bit of the experience I'm having right now, the bigness of the experience, the perfection of my human with all its weaknesses and its strengths, the view of my 62 years on earth, the absence of regrets, the perfection of it all is truly delicious.
Wow.
And to have no worry or anxiety about the future is exquisite. Right? So whatever thinking has you not engaged fully in the awareness process is a mistaken feeling. Because that is a way to get what I believe every single human being wants, is to get out of the trap of the past, present, future, getting somewhere you can never get to. One day where it will all turn out inside of anxiety, stress, fear, confusion. And the experience of, oh, this is what is meant to be, because it is. And I can look at all the difficult time in my life. This last month where I have been in a washing machine and I am the clothes in the washing machine being rolled around, right? And say, oh, that's perfect.
Wow.
Without it, there would be not this moment of now, right? So that is about as exquisite an experience of being incarnated you can get, I think. I mean, when I discovered the next one, but so far, my experience right now is the most exquisite I've ever had. Wow. It's so vast and so empty and so filled with possibilities. Right? Wow. So I'm sharing that, Abby, because I want to make it irresistible for everyone to engage in that awareness practice. And it's not that difficult. It really is not. You need to listen to books, you need to listen to podcasts, you need to talk, you need to slow down a little bit, you need to question and trust your soul will guide you.
That part I love, especially. Really trust that your soul will guide you to the right next thing, even if it's, there's a bit of turmoil involved, it might be the next.
Yeah. I've had a lot of turmoil in my life, lots, right? Like, my human was like, control time. I can do it by myself. Trust that it's perfect. And don't try to understand it, even if the circumstances of your life are really, really tough. Because when you look back on them, if you learn, you will know it was perfect.
Thank you, Sophie. Your space is so light now. I was saying to you, I could just hang out with you in silence for an hour or two, and I would be very happy.
Yeah.
Let me just check. Sorry, everybody. It's going to take me 1 second because I didn't pull up my Facebook previously, but I just want to see if any of you are here, if you have comments or questions. Oops. Okay, I don't see any comments or questions right now, but as always, if you're watching later or even if you're here now and you want to participate, please do. Everyone, thank you so much for being here today. Sophie, is there anything left in your space that you want to say? Or
Yes, I want to actually, that was well done. Guidance is real. You know, we often talk about guides and messages, and it is real. We are not alone. None of us are. So I hope I gave everybody the yearning to keep on going on the road. All right, Abby, I'm not going to listen to this call again.
I will. I will be listening to it again for sure. Thank you, Sophie. And thanks everyone for being with us. And we love you. As always, I'll post underneath. We have a page. If you have questions, you can submit them on the website. So I'll post that beneath. And we love you. Thank you for being with us today.
Okay, bye, everybody.